Organizational structure. We all know that an organization structure defines how job tasks are formally divided, grouped, and coordinated. Jobs are grouped into departments and departments are linked to form the organizational structure. In this lesson, we will discuss organizational structure and its elements, describe organizational chart, identify the commonly used pattern of departmentalization, and explain the methods of managing vertical and horizontal structure. After going through this presentation, you should be able to explain organization structure, organizational chart and types of departmentalization, functional departmentalization, divisional structure, hybrid structure, matrix structure and managing complex structure. Organizational structure is the formal pattern of interactions and coordination designed by management to link the tasks of individuals and groups in achieving organizational goals. The organizational structure is designed to prevent chaos through an orderly set of reporting relationships and communication channels. Organization structure is reflected in the organization chart. The organization chart is the visible representation for a whole set of underlying activities and processes in an organization. The chain of command is the unbroken line of authority that ultimately links each individual with the top organizational position through a managerial position at each successive layer in between. The concept of chain of command stems from two basic principles developed by contributors to the classical management viewpoint: unity of command and the scalar principle. Unity of command means that an individual should have only one boss at any given point in time. In most organizations, each individual reports to one and only one supervisor. The formal organizational structure begins with the chief executive and extends to the least skilled employee and delimits the reporting relationships in the organization. The scalar principle states that there should be a clear line of authority from the position of ultimate authority at the top to every individual in the organization. The organization chart is a line diagram that depicts the broad outline of an organization's structure. Organization chart facilitates understanding the overall structure of an organization and is particularly helpful in providing a visual map of the chain of command. Some charts show titles associated with the positions as well as the current position holders. Departmentalization is the clustering of individuals into units and of units into departments in order to facilitate achieving organizational goals. Departmentalization is a logical way of creating groups small enough that someone can manage them. Four of the most commonly used patterns of departmentalizations are functional, divisional, hybrid, and matrix. When departmentalization groups employees according to the organization's functions, it is called functional departmentalization. The figure below shows a bank organized by functional departmentalization. The functional structure groups positions into units on the basis of similarity of expertise, skills, and work activities. The four functions are lending, account services, marketing, and accounting. The advantages of functional departmentalization are in-depth development of expertise, efficient use of resources, possible economies of scale, ease of coordination within function, and potential technical advantage over competitors. Disadvantages of functional departmentalization are slow response time on multifunctional problems, backlog of decisions at top of hierarchy, bottlenecks due to sequential tasks, restricted view of organization employees, inexact measurement of performance, and narrow training for potential managers. The organization's other broad choice is to use divisional departmentalization, which groups employees according to some characteristic of markets or operations. Divisional structure is a type of departmentalization in which positions are grouped according to the similarity of products, services, or markets. The figure below shows the divisional structure. Within a division structure, each division contains the major functional resources it needs to pursue its own goals with little or no reliance on other divisions. Divisional structures are sometimes referred to as self-contained structures because the major functions are generally contained within each division. With departmentalization, the organization may group employees in one of the three ways, such as according to product line, customer group, or geographic location. Hybrid structure is a form of departmentalization that adopts parts of both functional and divisional structures at the same level of management. It attempts to incorporate many of the major advantages of functional as well as divisional departmentalization. The major advantages are alignment of corporate and divisional goals, functional expertise and/or efficiency, adaptability and flexibility in divisions. Disadvantages of a hybrid structure are conflicts between corporate departments and divisions, excessive administrative overheads, slow response to exceptional situations. A hybrid structure tends to be used in organizations that not only face considerable environmental uncertainty that can best be met through a divisional structure but also require functional expertise and/or efficiency. Matrix structure is a form of organization structure based on horizontal and vertical relationships. The matrix structure is linked closely to matrix management and is related to project management. It emerged on an improvised rather than a planned basis as a way of showing how people work with or report to others in their organization, project, geographic region, process, or team. Some organizations have tried to overcome limitations of product and divisional departmentalization by combining them in a matrix structure. Stanley M. Davis and Paul R. Lawrence suggest that organizations ultimately adopting a matrix structure usually go through several identifiable structural stages. Stage 1 is a traditional structure, usually a functional structure, which follows the unity of command principle. Stage 2 is a temporary overlay in which managerial integrator positions are created to take charge of particular project that involves coordinating across functional departments. Stage 3 is a permanent overlay in which the managerial integrator positions operate on a permanent basis. Stage 4 is a mature matrix in which matrix bosses have equal powers. Mintzberg defined organizational structure as the sum total of the ways in which it divides its labor into distinct tasks and then achieves coordination among them. Each configuration contains 6 components. First is operating core, the people directly related to the production of services or products. Second is strategic apex, serves the needs of those people who control the organization. Third is middle line, the managers who connect the strategic apex with the operating core. Fourth is technostructure, the analysts who design, plan, change or train the operating core. Fifth is support staff, the specialists who provide support to the organization outside of the operating core's activities. Sixth is ideology, the traditions and beliefs that make the organization unique. The author describes that the organization's structure depends on the organization itself, its members, and the distribution of power, the environment and the technical system. Each configuration represents a force that pulls organizations in different structural directions. For examples, operators want to professionalize in their drive to control their work. The structure an organization chooses depends to a great extent on the power of each of Mintzberg's 6 components. 5 important means of achieving effective vertical coordination are: formalization is the degree to which an employee's role is defined by formal documentation. Next, span of management or span of control is the number of subordinates who report directly to a specific manager. Spans of management for various managerial positions directly impact the number of hierarchical levels in an organization. Next, centralization and decentralization. In some organizations, top managers make all the decisions. Lower level managers merely carry out top management's directives. The term centralization refers to the degree to which decision-making is concentrated at a single point in the organization. Decentralization leads to faster decision-making at the lower levels because most decisions do not have to be referred up the hierarchy. Another means of vertical coordination that is closely related to decentralization issue is delegation. To delegate means to grant or confer. Hence, the manager grants or confers on others certain duties in the form of work and authority. Another issue related to vertical coordination is the configuration of line and staff positions. A line position is a position that has authority and responsibility for achieving the major goals of the organization. A staff position is a position whose primary purpose is to provide specialized expertise and assistance to line positions. The 3 major methods of horizontal coordination are slack resources. Slack resources are buffers that are created between groups to reduce sequential interdependence. A common example of slack resources is work in process inventory. The organization can also buy some unfinished goods from outside sources or delay that start of later groups' work. Next is information systems. Information systems, particularly computerized ones, to coordinate various parts of organization. These computer systems provide managers with information about the organization's performance. The third is lateral relations. Lateral relations is the coordination of efforts through communicating and the problem solving with peers in other departments or units, rather than referring most issues up the hierarchy for consideration. Direct contact, liaison roles, task force and teams, integrating manager matrix organization are the major means of lateral relations. If you have understood the various concepts discussed in this lesson clearly. Organizational structure is the formal pattern of interactions and coordination. Right or wrong? Right. Matrix structures are buffers that are created between groups to reduce sequential interdependence. Right or wrong? Wrong. A slack resource structure is a structure that combines functional and divisional departmentalization. Right or wrong? Wrong. Before we end, let us briefly revise what we have studied till so far. An organization structure defines how job tasks are formally divided, grouped and coordinated. Organization structure is the formal pattern of interactions and coordination designed by management to link the tasks of individuals and groups in achieving organizational goals. The organization chart is a line diagram that depicts the broad outline of an organization structure. The organization chart is the visible representation for a whole set of underlying activities and the processes in an organization. 4 of the most commonly used patterns of departmentalization are functional, divisional, hybrid, and matrix. Vertical coordination is the linking of activities at the top of the organization with those at the middle and lower levels in order to achieve organizational goals. Most organizations take steps to facilitate horizontal coordination, the linking of activities across departments at similar levels. Horizontal coordination mechanism supplement the basic hierarchy and related methods of vertical coordination.